not necessarily petty, but he doesn't like to be challenged, especially on a good night. And look, let's start this way. Andy Reid and him are good friends, so it has nothing to do with Andy Reid. But you look at the situation. I played for Gruden. I remember in Cincinnati, we're playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Prior to that football game, the reporters were talking negative about Keenan McCardell's average. K-Mac was averaging about 9 yards a catch. We put a play in just to get K-Mac's up, his average up. Gruden goes to, we're on the sideline. Gruden, he's screaming and yelling and doing the whole deal. He goes, yeah, blankety, blankety, blank. How y'all feel about that average now? I mean, he's so consumed with those sort of things. And look, he does a good job at figuring it out. That's why, to me, no matter what I feel about him personally in our battles, he is a hell of a coach, man.
Yeah, there were a lot of defenders on you on that play, by the way. But
1975.
Right.
No, that's the footage, man.
Come on,
Stop.
1975.
Boy, don't get me started. You played the same time I played,
Listen,
just a little later.
We're not going to get derailed there because we got more to get to here. Marcus, the Raiders, as I mentioned, did beat the Chiefs early this season. What do you expect on Sunday?
Chief about to dump truck the Raiders. They gonna stomp them out. Listen, this is about a revenge factor, and the worst person that in this league that you want to have revenge on you is a Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy coach team with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. We had Travis Kelce on yesterday. He told us that he gave those guys respect, but he felt like that they could stand up and play a lot better. And then, too, to the other side of the ball, like the Raiders hit so many home run balls. Aguilar played great. Henry Ruggs over the top. Waller. So this is not to, maybe it is disrespectful to say it that way, but the Raiders have matchup nightmares as well offensively. But I don't expect Spagnuolo to give up as many yards through the air as they gave up the first game. I expect him to get those things corrected like we've seen this Kansas City Chiefs defense have the tendency to do, is fix themselves and get ready to play and tailor themselves to the opponent that they're facing. So I expect the Chiefs to have a good day.
No, that was disrespectful as a mug. That was disrespectful.
Well,
but
it is what it is, dog.
You hit on it a little bit. Like if they're going to win the game, they got to take away some of the explosive passes that they did give up in that first meeting, because that was the tail of the game. And how many kind of opportunities the Raiders had to push the ball downfield, and they kept hitting them. You want to disguise coverage? Derek Carr goes, all right, I'll take my shot downfield to Ruggs. That's number one. How about a little bit of a somewhat play-action pass, and they get Aguilar on these safeties running downfield. Derek Carr hit that big ball. That's a big one. 3rd and 18. If you don't get pass rush on, he'll find Renfro. That was another big pass conversion. This one coming to the left side of your screen, Ruggs. This is a great formation. They got man coverage with outside leverage, a big chunk completion. So if they're going to win, they gotta make sure that they don't give up the big chunk plays. And then I'd say this, I got some numbers. So 12 possessions in that game the Raiders had, right? 7 out of those 12 possessions, they scored points. If you just take 12 possessions on each side, right, 24, they had 3 possessions in the game. Follow me, 3 possessions in the game that ate up 20 minutes of clock. That's a third of the football game. 2 of them were field goals, and one of them's a touchdown. So not only do they not have to give up plays or big plays, man, they got to make sure that the Raiders don't just chew up that clock like they did in game 1.
Time of possession battle, always huge. Let's get Adam Schefter back in here for this. And Adam, the NFL put in some COVID protocols across the league today. What are the changes?
Starting Saturday, Laura, every team goes into intensive protocols, really where half the league has almost been since those protocols were put into place at the beginning of the month. And that means that players and coaches will have to wear masks all the time. There'll be more virtual meetings. There'll be fewer in-team gatherings. But that's what we're looking at now moving forward. Intensive protocols for the entire league starting Saturday. A review of contact tracing data shows that teams in intensive protocols right now have a 50% reduction rate in the spread of COVID. So that's what the league is trying to do, contain the virus right now.
Yeah, and you know what? They've done a good job of that. So continuing that on for the sanctity of this season. Week 10 added a new twist to the battle for the NFC West crown as the Cardinals and Seahawks go head-to-head on Thursday night. Will we see more Kyler heroics, or will Russ and the Seahawks? Roethlisberger, guys, he had the best game of 2020 after a week of no practice last week, after being placed on the reserve COVID-19 list because of close contact before being activated Saturday. Listen, it didn't matter. He threw for 333 yards, 4 touchdowns in that win over the Bengals. He joked that he asked Mike Tomlin for another week off.
Have you had that conversation, and are you willing to allow him to sort of forego throwing at practice a few days?
We did have that conversation. I'll acknowledge it was a very brief one. and I'll see him in practice on Thursday.
I mean, Marcus, can you blame Big Ben for trying at least?
No, you can't blame him, man. Big Ben just coming off of surgery on the elbow that kept him out. He banged his knees up against the Cowboys, and he's asking for an old man, what you call vet day. But Mike Tomlin like, nah, man. Did you see how we performed against the Cowboys? We do things a certain way. We grind a certain way. And I'm sure him and Ben has the rapport, and Tomlin is smart about how he's using this veteran quarterback because he knows how important he is to what they are trying to accomplish this year. But it's so much love between what Mike Tomlin does for this football team, how he treats vets, how he manages situations throughout the year. He is phenomenal at this type of stuff. Every time he's in front of a camera, you see him exude leadership. He talks about it. He talks about his players. He talks about what they're gonna do. A few weeks ago, we talked about how he said they didn't fear Lamar Jackson. Mike Tomlin walks to the beat of his own drum. That's why he's such a tremendous coach and been a tremendous coach for a long time. And that's why guys want to play for him. And that's why you see Pittsburgh have a lot of success like they have.
Hey, do you think that Key was a good blocker?
Yeah, Key was a real good blocker. If people don't remember, I played with Key when we were in Dallas. And I remember Key did all the work.
Man,
he did all the work you needed to do as a wide receiver, man.
They trusted me so much.